Captain by a hook with a red beard. Captain by a hook with a red beard.
Hot ham. I mean, God. Yeah. Conference play, baby. This is what y'all been waiting for, ain't it? This is what the people paid paper for, ain't it? Conference play in college basketball. It does not get no better than this. We got the Big 12 kicking off in a major way. Tonight, WCC. Pop it off. Rest of the conferences following suit. Big East. Mount West already started on Saturday. We'll recap a few of those games. There's some teams I want to talk about, though. Going into conference play, just a heads up, we will touch on conferences, conference winners. Also got 5 bets for you tonight. 5 of them things. But what I want to do first and foremost, when looking at the non-conference records of some of these teams, I want to give flowers where flowers are due. I also want to call a fraud alert on somebody. But before we get to any of that, shout out to Utah State. 12-1, 2-0 in conference play. Buzzer beating, not really. San Diego State missed the buzzer beating. But Utah State coming back after being down 11 at the half on the road to number 20, San Diego State. Utah State, the Aggies, getting a tough win. They're now plus 175 to win the Mountain West. Man, I said Danny Sprinkle wasn't there on Friday. Boy, oh boy. It turns out that's a good thing. Jared Calhoun stepping up to the plate and knocking it out the damn park. If you recognize the last name, yes, that is the son of legendary Jim Calhoun, Jared Calhoun. First year taking over Utah State, looking good. Again, 12-1, 2-0 in conference play. Just a great effort. Defense held San Diego State shooting under 40%, while Utah State shot 44%. I want to give some flowers to Utah State and Jared Calhoun. Let's look at Maryland in the Big Ten. They're 4th right now in the Big Ten. We'll get to prices later. I believe they're about 6-1, 7-1, and to win the Big Ten. 1-1 in conference play, 11-2 overall. The only thing I don't like, and I'm going to call this out on a few teams, only one true road game Maryland has played so far, and that was against Purdue. But hey, they only lost by 5. But they've handled business, blowing out most of these teams. The other loss they had was a 4-point loss to Marquette, which looks amazing right now. Maryland, Terrapins. I never know how to say it. The Big Turtles of Maryland. You deserve some flowers. Just worried about you going on the road. and you'll be tested early. Next 2 games at Washington. That's an easy one. But then you got to go to at Oregon. It's one of the hottest teams in the country right now. They are 12-1 in non-conference play, 1-1 in conference play. And then you got to see UCLA. Tough first 3 games in conference play for Maryland, but they do deserve some flowers for the non-conference slate that was. Memphis. The Memphis Tigers. Not only do they have a Astrodamus, Conscious, you know, huge win over Old Mississippi. This game was a 2-point game at the half. Memphis this year has been notorious to being a second half team. I've seen them down 10 at the half, come back and win. This game, 2-point game, they're up 2 at the half, end up winning by 17. Just absolutely smothering defense in the second half. Penny Hardaway, in an interview over the weekend, he said, "You know what? I've been here 7 years. I admit, when I came here, thought it'd be easy. Realized how hard it's going to be. And now, finally, I feel comfortable being the head coach of Memphis basketball." And that's why you give a round of applause for Memphis. Sticking with their guy. A lot of people would have gave up on Penny by now. But man, I love it. They're 10-3, 4-2 at home. They're going into conference play feeling pretty darn good. I definitely like this Memphis team. Probably the best all-around Memphis team Penny has had. He's had some teams with stars. He's had some teams with 1 or 2 good players. But I think 1-8, 1-9, this Memphis team can compete with anybody. And they showed it this weekend. I mean, Old Miss is a good team. You don't get number 16 by your name for Nathan. Nothing. Nada. And Memphis just showed the world. We ain't worried about it. We ain't worried about it. Let me go to the left. Michigan, baby. 10-3 in non-conference play. They're gearing up to start conference play. A blowout victory of Western Kentucky yesterday. Beat them by 50. They did struggle. They lose by 2 to Arkansas, lose by 1 to Oklahoma, and you lose by 2 to Wake Forest. You know why? Because for some reason, Danny Wolf runs the point with 30 seconds left every time in all these goddamn games, and they haven't got a good shot yet. This Michigan team is an elite guard away. I've said it a dozen times. Wrote an article about it on Stare Down Sports. Elite guard away from going undefeated and win a championship this year. Sick and tired of seeing Danny Wolf running the point. Just me, personally. All 3 of your losses to good teams, all 3 of your losses by literally 2 points or 1 point. Give some flowers to Michigan. They too have a tough start. They got USC, UCLA, and then Washington. USC and UCLA on the road. So Michigan going to take that trip to Southern California sometime this week, taking on both of those guys. I think that's Saturday against USC, and then Tuesday against UCLA. Sign me up and give me some popping corn. But man, I don't know if the problem is with the guard play or with the coach Dusty May trusting the guard play. But Danny Wolf running the point late in game situations, I don't like it. Oregon, gonna be quick with this one. 12-1. The one loss coming to UCLA on a buzzer beater. UCLA hit a 3 at the buzzer to win that one. The mighty Bruins Definitely. We'll get to them in a second. But Oregon, looking good, looking great. They start their Big Ten. Well, Big Ten? I'm kidding. I'm used to it by now. But it's still oogly boogly woogly. Man, do I miss the Pac 12. They'll take on a tough Illinois team on Thursday, it looks like. And then they got the tough Maryland team next week on Sunday. Man, man. Geeked up about conference play. Literally have butterflies just thinking about it. Oklahoma. You're in the SEC now. The SEC has 3 undefeated teams. Oklahoma is one of them. 13-0. Only 2 tough games they played, though. I guess they got a few tough ones in here. You got Georgia Tech, Louisville. But they did beat Michigan by 1, and they did beat Arizona by 5. Arizona starting to look weaker and weaker as a win as time goes on. Everybody, and I mean everybody, tossing them around like, whoa. Almost got a little too graphic for this show, if you know what I mean. Little wink, wink there. Arizona, the high school SLUT in non-conference play. But Oklahoma, 13-0, baby. Rocking and rolling through non-conference play. Georgia, nobody. I haven't heard anybody, not one person talk about Georgia. Their only losses to Marquette. They've beaten St. John's. They've beaten Notre Dame. They've beaten Grand Canyon. They've beaten South Carolina State. Again, my only problem with this team is the lack of road games. A lot of these teams beefing up on home games during non-conference schedule um, kind of got to water down the wins and losses. A team you especially have to water down the wins and losses for is the Indiana Hoosiers. Big guy, Bello, transfer from Arizona. Last year for Arizona, I was screaming at the top of my lungs, this kid is out of shape. Don't want it. Send his ass home to his mama crying. Don't deserve a damn minute on the floor in D1 basketball. He's taking it for granted and he's throwing his career in the trash. Oh, well, what happened? They gave him $2 million instead, just to transfer to Indiana. He showed up in Indiana even more overweight and out of shape. Seen on social media a night before the game, out late at some bars in Bloomington, Indiana. I get it. White women. I get it. Actually, I don't. Never been with a white woman. But that's a different story. And then he's seen on the bench, hooting and hollering, joking, laughing. Just an out of shape slob. Indiana, 10-3. But 9-0 or 9-1 at home. Only time you face a decent team, you're getting turkey dog whooped. Nebraska, who's another team I want to talk about. Nebraska beat you 85-68. Louisville beat you 89-61. Gonzaga beat you 89-73. Yes, Indiana's 10-3. But if I had to guess, Indiana will be below 500 and towards the bottom of the Big Ten 60 days from now. The Hoosiers. A lot of red flags going on up there. Mike Woodson, I feel sorry for your big dog. You gave the wrong kid $2 million. LSU Tigers, baby. 11-2. Sorry, it says first in SEC. It just shook me up a little bit. Nowhere near first in SEC. SEC is 170-22 overall non-conference record. They got 3 undefeated teams. They got another 4 teams with 1 loss, 8 teams with 2 losses, and then South Carolina at the bottom with 3 losses. But LSU has some good wins at home and on the road. See if they can carry that over into conference play. They get a light start. You get Vanderbilt, Missouri, and then you got to go see Ole Miss and Arkansas. It's going to be hard to duck teams in the SEC. But LSU, baby, 11-2, non-conference, one of the best starts to a season in a while from the Tigers. Now, the 2 teams I want to talk about the most going into conference play, Nebraska. That's right. Nebraska, baby. The Cornhuskers, 10-2. Non-conference play, getting the job done. Huge wins over Creighton, Indiana, Oregon State, Hawaii. They got one more. I didn't even see this game today. Apparently they play Southern today, and sports books are too scared to give a line on it. But anyway, Nebraska. They have a generational talent in Bryce Williams, and they will. Oh, they're minus 21 in the hook. Yeah, I'm straight on that. But anyway, Bryce Williams, man, reminds me of a young Kawhi. Just has that slow pace, in control, beautiful mid-range pull-up. Plays the game the right way. Drops 30 points without you even noticing. My kind of player, my kind of guy, might be my favorite player thus far in 2024, 2025. And then how about the mighty Bruins, baby? I mean, this team has been giant killers all season long, and they did it again on Saturday, beating Gonzaga. I could spend 5 minutes on Nimhard's uh, horrible court awareness. I mean, the kid shot a 65-footer with 4 seconds left. Could have got easily 2 or 3 more dribbles and pulled up at least in Steph Curry range, if not at the 3-point line itself. I mean, he shot the ball and kept running, and he was inside the 3-point line before the buzzer went off. Just horrible, horrible, horrible time management and decision making. You know them nerves was in them. But UCLA, only 2 losses on the season was North Carolina by 2. They should have won that game. No way they should have gave that game up. They got comfortable late, and Mick Cronin will fix that. They also lost to New Mexico early in the season. Very tough New Mexico team. But man, I mean, they got huge wins over Oregon, Gonzaga, Arizona. And I love it because they play their way. Man, Nebraska, UCLA on Saturday, 1 p.m. at Fox. I mean, what more could a kid ask for? I think Baylor's playing, I don't know, Saturday slate of college hoops with conference play. I mean, I literally was blushing just looking at the slate. But man, shouldn't do a 20-minute intro, but who gives a hot ham? We're cooking, baby. It's Captain by a Hook with the red beer, presented by Stare Down Sports. Stare Down Greatness. I'm Rowan Donaghy, aka Rowan Dobbs. How you like me now? Gold teeth when I smile. Old Master P lyrics for those that don't know. But man, now that I've given my flowers out, let's look at some of these conference numbers. And man, I knew that shit was gonna. I told myself I was gonna place my bets after the show, like a dumbass. And now we got lines moving. It's probably gonna move some more. Who the hell's betting Kansas State tonight? Am I right? Crackhead, that's who. Anyway, Let's look at some of these conferences, starting with the ACC. Duke's minus 230, and to be honest, I get it. I can't think of any team in this ACC that can truly give them a run for their. Excuse me. Damn, morning show, people. I can't think of any team in the ACC that can give them a run for the money. Man, the heart wants to say North Carolina. I'm a North Carolina guy, but I don't know, man. From what I've seen in North Carolina, I don't see it. But I also don't fully believe in Duke. It's a weird situation. I think they can be got. I just can't pinpoint who I think can get them. But North Carolina at 8-1. I mean, who the hell else gonna do it? Louisville, Wake Forest, Notre Dame. The ACC went from the basketball powerhouse to really being obsolete. It breaks my heart because when I was a kid, it was SEC was football, ACC was basketball, Pac-12, Big 10, Big 12, little brother and everything. But now, ACC is one or two good teams and then a bunch of just slop. Duke minus 230 to win that division. Gotta love it. Memphis, they're minus 220 to win their division. And again, who's going to stop them? We say that every year, but I think this is the first year Memphis is truly a big dog in a little cage, a big fish in a little pond, if you will. I think they need to get into a big conference. They need to move to a Big East or the ACC, in my opinion. But then again, that's just me. Let's look at Big Ten real quick. You got UCLA and Michigan as co-favorites, both plus 400. Don't trust Michigan in late game situations. We've seen it. They've lost 3 games by less than 2. Michigan State's the third favorite at plus 550. They're hot. They're rolling. They got experience. They got talent. And then you got Maryland at 650, plus 650, that is. Purdue, Illinois. This is the conference, though, where I think anybody, and I mean anybody, can win it. Um, Honestly, you got Oregon at 10-1, who's only lost 1 game. You can scroll all the way down to get Nebraska. I gave them out at 8,000 on Friday. They're plus 7,500 right now. I just said I think they got the best player in the league. The Rutgers team, everybody's all gung ho about, plus 5,500. That's plus 5,500, people. I think anybody, Nebraska, Rutgers, Wisconsin, Oregon, Illinois, Michigan State, Michigan, and UCLA. I mean, you can throw a dart at one of them 7-8 teams and have a good damn chance to rock and roll. Big 12. Houston's your favorite at plus 160. They haven't shown me that they should be the favorite of the Big 12. Iowa State's 2-1 right behind them. I think that should be flip-flopped. And in Kansas, with the best coach in the league and arguably the most experienced, bunch of old guys on that team, they're 500 right now, plus 500. And then you have a huge drop-off to Baylor and Texas Tech at 14-1. Arizona 18-1. Cincinnati is the team I want to bring some light to. They're 18-1 right now. Definitely don't think they have a huge shot at winning this, but I think they can play with anybody. Definitely think this number will be down to 7-1, 8-1 in the near future. But I think the Big 12 is one of those top 4 teams, whether it's Baylor, Kansas, Iowa State, or Houston. Right now, I kind of lean Kansas at 5-1 being the best bet. Iowa State at 2-1 being the most likely. And then Houston at plus 160. Maybe I'll jump in on them if they drop a little bit. But I damn sure don't think plus 160 right now Houston should be the favorite. Not after what I've seen in non-conference play. Big East. I've been screaming Marquette from the rooftops since they were plus 800, plus 600, plus 450, plus 230. Now they're the co-favorite with UConn at plus 175. Both of these teams plus 175. And then you got the Johnnies of St. John's at plus 240. Gotta love it. Creighton's 10-1 right behind them, and then you have a huge drop off to Villanova being 4,200, Xavier 6,000. You get it. Nobody else has a damn chance. You're looking at UConn or Marquette here. As much as I want to put St. John's in the conversation, St. John's is a team that I think just ends up third or fourth. Them and Creighton to battle it out for that third spot in the regular season. Maybe St. John's can go to run in the Big East tournament, steal that. But as far as regular season goes, it's Marquette or UConn. I was all over Marquette because of the number. Now, if you want to come back and take UConn at plus 175, I get it. I totally get it. I have so much invested in the Marquette. I'm just gonna rock and roll with that, and let it be known. I got Marquette at 8 and 6-1. Right now you can get a plus 175, which I don't know. I don't know if you want it. Kind of a weird situation in the Big East. Kind of at a standstill if you're really looking for true value. The Mountain West is a fun one. Love this New Mexico team. They're the second favorite at plus 300. San Diego State 1-1 just took that tough loss to Utah State at home. Hopefully that wakes them up. But San Diego State's plus 420. You got a tough Nevada team at 11-1. And then you look at the middle of this. Boise State's plus 410. They're the third favorite. And then, of course, Jared Calhoun and the Utah State Aggies. Wow. This team is tough. Sweet 16? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Utah State is the favorite right now, plus 175. This is a league where you got to go top four. San Diego State already has that loss to Utah State, which kind of puts them behind a little bit. But hey, it's college basketball, baby. Anything can happen in a week. They're 420, Boise 410, New Mexico 300, Utah State 175. Honestly, I don't know how you guys bet, but I would take San Diego State right here at plus 420. Um, maybe New Mexico at 300, and then hopefully I can get Utah State at 4 or 5-1 after a loss or two, and just let the chips fall where they may. The last conference I'm going to talk about, which is the most compelling to me, non-conference schedule, 170-22. The SEC is the worst, absolute worst SEC team. South Carolina at 9-3. Now, no, you can't put too much on these non-conference schedules, but hell, it's definitely worth a few flyers. I gave out Ole Miss at 32-1. They're now 45-1. I didn't think the SEC was going to be as tough as it is. But guess who's also 45-1? Arkansas. Guess who's 40-1? Texas. Texas A&M. Mississippi State. Definitely think all of these teams have a shot. I mean, hell, Oklahoma's undefeated, and they're plus 6,000. But the team that I've been screaming and the team that I believe in the most in this SEC still sitting at a good number, 11-1. You can get these Kentucky Wildcats. I think they're the best team with the best players and a great coach. I'm not going to say he's the best coach in the SEC yet. Some good damn coaches in the SEC. But Mark Pope, I believe. Lamont Butler, I believe. And then you got Kisha. Just 2-3 seasons ago was an absolute stud at Arizona, running your backup point guard position, coming off the bench, giving no drop. This is like an NBA roster. You got 2 starting point guards coming in the game at all times. Kentucky's at 11-1. Now Florida's undefeated at 12-1. Honestly, I don't know how much I believe in this Florida team. And that's just me. Alabama, they're plus 430. I don't know. I'm not the biggest believer in Alabama. They're going to live and die by the 3, and they're going to lose some close games because of it. Tennessee, #1 overall seed. Deservingly. I don't know who's better out of them or Auburn yet, but I would take Kentucky against either one of them. You got Tennessee at plus 260, Auburn at plus 135. Give me Kentucky at 11-1 in this conference. And here's the kicker. Last game of the season, Auburn at Kentucky. That game could very well give me my money. But man, conference play tipping off. Juiced. Cannot wait. I mean, I'm literally licking my lips, counting down to these games starting today. About 11 hours away from getting into some Big 12 college basketball, baby. Can't wait for the SEC, ACC to follow suit later this week. Let's look at all the games today. Let's preview some stuff. This is Captain by a hook. Again, I got 5 bets coming for you, but I'm going to look at some other games. You got Princeton, Akron. This is a good lunchtime game. Princeton minus 6.5. Definitely would be my bet in this game. Love Princeton minus the 6.5. Taking on Akron. Definitely think Princeton wins by 12. That's the number I got. 11.5 would be a good number for me on Princeton. Michigan State's minus 27 in a hook. They've been blowing teams out lately, but man, I just cannot get behind Michigan State as huge favorites. Not in this lifetime, at least. Rutgers, the team that wins every game by 2 because they don't pass the ball. They're 11.5-point favorites to this evening going against Columbia. Should definitely win this game by 20, 30, 40. But will they? I have no faith in it. Rutgers 11.5 though is disrespectful to Rutgers. They should look at this line and be like, bruh, we really that trash? Yeah. Ball movement is what great teams do. Defending, rebounding. Those are the things Rutgers missing. Hello talent. Hopefully they figure it out by March because I'm rooting for this team. Would love to see New Jersey in the Sweet 16. Put New Jersey back on the map. Auburn's 35.5-point favorites against Monmouth. Realistically, they should win by 40, 50. I'm not going to sweat out 35 in the hook. Same thing with Iowa being 33.5-point favorites against New Hampshire. You got Southeastern Louisiana going to McNeese State. McNeese has not shown me that they can cover big numbers, and for some reason they're laying 16.5. So no thank you there. South Carolina, they're 18.5-point favorites against pedestrian. You know, pedestrian. I don't even know how to say this damn school's name, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to treat this like football, and I'm going to stay away. Because South Carolina's 9-3, and I can see them looking ahead at their SEC schedule, thinking this is our last non-conference game. They might win it by 16, 15, but to cover 18.5, I just don't want to do it. Not a bad bet. I ain't mad at you if you make it. Missouri taking on Alabama State. They're 24.5-point favorites. Just a lot of big favorites I really don't want to lay. Same thing with Arizona and TCU. Arizona's 14.5-point favorites. Their first game ever in the Big 12. No, thank you. No, thank you. I know they played some Pac-12 teams that's in the Big 12 now, but the true Big 12 competition. Arkansas, baby. Arkansas. They're taking on Oakland. Arkansas 17.5. I would not lay anything over 13.5 with Arkansas against anybody. Damn sure not laying 17.5. Same problem as Rutgers. Hella talent, lack defense, lack ball movement. The best point guard in the country sitting in the fucking corner. Still pisses me off. Grand Canyon minus 12.5. No, thank you. This is not the Grand Canyon team of last season. I'm not even going to talk about that game. Who's laying 31 with Vanderbilt? Not I, Popeye. Who's laying 29.5 with Mississippi State? Nebraska taking on Southern. Nebraska minus 21 in the hook. I think Nebraska wins that one by like 15. 16. Bryce Williams has his little 30 and they up 20 and he goes sits his ass down about 5 minutes left. Oregon State's 18.5 against Portland. You can't do it. Santa Clara, man. Disappointing. They're that team this season with the preseason hype that just did not come to fruition. Everybody was talking about the amazing guard play and how they were gonna just do. Haven't done any doing, if you know what I mean. Let's get into these hot ham bets, baby. It's Captain by a Hook with the red beard. Got 5 of them thanks. I got 4. Frank, my man, on standby, will come through. God damn, I dropped this pen like 3 times today. He'll come through and give you the best bet of the day. Cincinnati on the road, taking on Kansas State, getting their Big 12 season rolling. Cincinnati was 3.5 before the show. They're now 4.5. I still like it. I mean, I think this Kansas State team, and this might be personal, and I hate when I get caught up in personal vendettas, but Kansas State is just a horrible basketball team. They literally took the worst egos of every other team, put them on their team, and tried to figure it out, and it's not working. Give me Cincinnati laying the 4.5. Like Cincinnati to win this thing comfortably, 8+ or so. Cincinnati minus 4.5. Jump on it, cause this thing's moving, running, gunning. 2 more Big 12 games for you tonight. We got Houston taking on Oklahoma State. Give me Houston laying the 12.5 on the road. I know it's a big number. I know both them and Oklahoma State are 8-3, but there's levels to this. In the Houston 8-3 is a whole hell of a lot more than Oklahoma State's 8-3. Trust me. Houston dominates on the defensive end. Hopefully their offense can get enough buckets to cover this 12.5. This and the next one are the 2 games I'm the shakiest about, only because it's road games in conference play, double-digit numbers. But Houston minus 12.5. I'm gonna go ahead and lay it. And then Iowa State, they're taking on Colorado. Colorado. This one does scare me the most. Iowa State minus 10.5. But man, this Cyclones defense is legit. This team has chemistry from last season. One of the few teams that actually kept their core. Reminds me of some old school college hoops, baby. Iowa State, a minus 10.5. Up there in Colorado. Colorado. I always hate betting teams going in Colorado. Just because of the elevation. But I'm going to do it tonight. We're going to go Iowa State minus the 10.5. And then late night delight. in the WCC. Let's go Gonzaga, baby. Bounce back after the UCLA loss. Now they're home. I mean, they're on the road tonight at Pepperdine, but they're in the WCC where they slap people around left and right, baby. Give me Gonzaga laying 21 and the hook. Definitely think they win this by 30, 40, 50. Love Gonzaga tonight minus the 21 and a hook. Man, man. Now, it's what you all been waiting for. The best bet of the damn day. I need somebody. Anybody. Hit me with the horns. Franklin, Earl, Beardwinaton, baby. Coming at you live on Captain by a Hook with the red beard. Giving you the best bet of the damn day. We're going back to the WCC. Washington State taking on Loyola Marymount. And Washington State is not minus 16 in the hook. Washington State is not minus 14 in a. You can get Washington State 8.5. That is the best damn bet of the day. Washington State minus 8.5 taking on Loyola Marymount. Man, please. It's Captain by a Hook, baby, with the red beard. Just to recap them: Cincinnati minus 4 in the hook. Houston minus 12 in the hook. Iowa State minus 10 in the hook. We're talking Big 12 basketball, baby. Gotta love it. And then we're going to go to the WCC for the last two. Gonzaga minus 21.5 taking on Pepperdine. And then Franklin Earl. Beardwinaton's best bet of the day. Washington State minus 8 and a hook. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the love. And thank you for the support. It's Captain by a Hook with the red beard. Presented by Stare Down Sports. Stare Down Greatness. I'm Rowan Donaghy, a.k.a. Rowan Dobbs, going live on a beautiful 30th day of December, the 365th day of the year. It's crazy. 366 days this year, huh? It blew my mind. Anyway, take all these wagers at your own risk and please gamble responsibly. Dobbs. See you guys tomorrow. We are going bananas. Countdown to March. I know. My mind is already in the madness.